was the best thing that happened in your Sunday school class this Sunday? Not a trick question, not even looking for a spiritual answer. I'm just asking, what was the best thing that happened in your Sunday school class this Sunday?
I was strumming my guitar and I broke my pick.
You broke your pick, and that was the best thing that happened in Sunday school?
I mean, it was pretty cool if you've heard her play.
Okay. All right. Anybody else?
We have a lot of girls who haven't worked there for a long time. Mason has only been there once.
Good.
That's awesome.
Good. Had somebody come for the first time in a long time. Awesome. Anybody else? Something good that happened on Sunday morning?
We have to set out extra chairs.
Put out extra chairs for class Sunday. That's folks shows like that. Anybody else? Just something you're just thankful for. There's something good that happened on Sunday morning.
Somebody showed up.
Somebody showed up.
I'm glad somebody showed up.
You know what? I'm always amazed when somebody shows up the second time when I preach.
There you go.
You know, it's amazing they showed up the first time, but the fact they come back a second time is a big deal. Yeah. Anything else in your Sunday school class?
We had only two kids there this week, but
We're talking about something good that happened.
listen, let me finish, son. The whole thing.
Just want to make sure you understood the concept.
Thank you, Pastor. They listened and they were able to bring back answers from 3 or 4 weeks ago that we've been covering. They could tell us what we've been doing, and they were able to talk about the difference between the Old Testament and New Testament, and they're 4 years old, so I felt really good about it.
Kids are learning.
They're coming, they are.
That's good. That's good. Anytime learning is taking place, learning is better than teaching. Learning requires teaching, but learning is way more important than teaching. Does everybody? That's not something we have to explain. That just is, right? There's a lot of teaching around today.
And just to explain my bad statement on.
That's okay. You don't have to. You don't have to.
But it's good.
You don't have to.
We move all our children up to the second grade.
It's good.
I mean, first to
It's
kindergarten.
good. Praise the Lord.
So, and we'll be getting them. But we're just a different kind of class.
Good.
That's enough butter.
Yes, it is. All right. Anything else? Yeah.
Like Jim, we had somebody in our special class that had been there a long time. So.
Is that right? That is so cool when folks that you work on and people that you've not given up on. You know, somebody, and I don't even remember who, and I don't remember the circumstance, but somebody this week or last week, it's been a long week already, and it's only Wednesday, either this week or last week, somebody said, we have been by to see this person X number of times, and we haven't found them at home, so should we go ahead and take them off our list? And what's the answer to that?
No.
You may be the only person trying to reach them. You may be the only, and probably are, the only person that is even capable or interested in speaking any kind of spiritual truth into their life. Isn't that right? So, man, when there's somebody that you've gone after, and they show up, that's exciting, isn't it? I mean, that's really exciting. And when you've actually taught something that somebody remembers, that is exciting too. I mean, that is really exciting. In fact, we're going to find out about that tonight. We're going to see if you remember anything. That is the goal. Florence Chadwick. Anybody know Florence Chadwick? Does that name ring a bell? Yes.
Yeah.
Florence Chadwick. She swam the English Channel. It is. No, it's not. I'm not sure. She swam the English Channel successfully, and then later on decided that she was going to swim from Catalina Island to the coast of California. Okay. What's that? Yeah, it's less than the English Channel, but the water much colder and shark infested. And she had been going for a few hours when the fog rolled in. I mean, fog went. It was unbelievable. and between the cold water, now she had boats with her for safety's sake, but between the cold water and the fog rolling in and the fear of what she couldn't see, the sharks and everything else, she decided she was going to call it. And they encouraged her. They said, don't give up. You're close. Don't give up. We know you're close. Don't give up. But she just finally gave in. When they got her in the boat and they took her to shore, she was less than a mile from the finish. And here's what she said. A reporter asked her about the decision to stop, and she said, "I'm not excusing myself, but if I could have seen the shore, I might have made it." Yeah. If I could have seen the shore, I might have made it. Can I tell you that I think one of the things that happens to us is what happened to Florence Chadwick. And that is we lose sight of our destination. We lose sight of our destination. Let me talk to you about that just a little bit. If you're traveling anywhere, you begin, and this is right off, you can read what we're about to tell you. If you're traveling anywhere, you begin at one point along a certain path and eventually arrive at your destination. You ought to circle this, underline it, mark it. You begin with the end in mind. You are guided by why you went on the trip, driven by how you followed the path, and what you expected to find when you arrived. You see that? You have to know where you're going to be able to figure out the best way to get there. Jana and I are right now trying to figure out, we've got a very dear friend, Jack. You think about praying for Jack McVeigh. Our friend Jack McVeigh, his cancer is not good, and we're hearing that we're going to need to make a trip, go down to check on Jack and see him. It's a long, short, but we're trying, we know the why. We know why we're going, but the reason we're going is not for the purpose of making a trip. Why are we going? To see Jack. We know what, we have an expectation of what we're going to find when we get there. Does that make sense? So our drive, our flight, however it is that we figure out how we're going to do all this, is going to absolutely be directly affected by the why we're going and what we or who we expect to see when we arrive. Does that make sense? Everybody follow along with that? So when you begin any journey, you subconsciously work through a whole process. You have an inner conversation around these 4 questions. Why am I going to a particular destination? How will I get there? What will it be like when I arrive? Who will I see when I arrive? Without realizing it, you have essentially worked through a purpose-driven framework of just thinking through what you're about to do. Does that make sense? Why, how, what, and who? And so if you look at these 4 things, we call them the 4 elements of impact. Okay? 4 elements of impact. Why? Why do you believe you can make a difference? You see, purpose needs a reason. Is that an offering envelope you got when you pass there? Anybody need the offering envelope? Okay, pass it right up here. We need some right along this way. Can y'all just pass that around? All right. Now, let me say it again. Purpose focuses on 4 elements of impact. We've already talked about that. Why? Why do you believe that you can make a difference? Can we say it this way? Purpose needs a reason. There's got to be a why. And secondly, who do you work to impact? Who do you work to impact? Purpose needs people. Okay? 3, how do you achieve the impact? Purpose needs a plan. And 4, what will impact look like when you achieve it? Purpose needs vision and impact. And evening, Justin. Come on up here, man. Hey, can you slide over? We'll let husband and wife sit. We'll just put them both right there. Good evening, y'all. Come on in. So, when we start with a purpose, that is the only way for us to understand the difference between mission and vision. When I ask you why, how, or what, we say our Sunday school, what is the purpose of our Sunday school? What do we say? Yeah. Reaching. Now, we're going to change some terminology here in just a second, but I want to make sure that you that. Okay. That was done with video, does it? This was not my stuff.
Oh my goodness.
Much better.
Thank you, Monk.
Perfect. How's that? Keep your toe.
The end's bad,
Can't even tell.
and the eye's gone.
All
right.
You lost the
Close
eye.
enough. Reaching, teaching, and ministry. And there, how many times have we said over the years, this is what we do. This is what our Sunday school exists to do. We are to reach, teach, minister. We're about reaching, teaching, and ministering. Okay? Now let me ask you, is this the why, the how, or the what? The why, the how, or the what? How many of you say this is the what? How many of you say this is the why? How many of you say this is the how? How many of you refuse to vote at all? Okay. All right. Well, stay with me. We're going to find out what it is. All right. You begin with a purpose, and the purpose is the why your class has begun a journey guided by the deeply held values and beliefs that inspire you to make a difference. Now, let me ask you a question. What is the purpose of our church?
Preach, teach, and ministry.
Win souls.
To see lives change both immediately and in the future.
Anything else? If you've already heard this, Bill, chew on your knuckles, will you? But else do you, Pam? Okay? What is the purpose? Okay, I'm gonna give you a purpose and see how you like this one. Our purpose is that our purpose? Okay, you went recently to BBC. Do any of you remember what they told you your purpose was? What's the purpose of a Christian? What is the purpose of a Christian? Bill, what did you tell us that they teach you right at BBC?
To glorify God.
Stop right there. That's exactly. No. Okay? No. Let me tell you something. Ever since a guy named John Piper started writing books, his theology is not where it ought to be. Okay? We'll just say that. His theology is not where it ought to be. And this is what I'm going to tell you. He has passed that around so that just about everybody has, they are hook, line, and sinker. They've swallowed it. And it is only partly true. It is true, but it is only partly true. Okay? Let me prove it to you. Okay? Let me prove it to you. Let me back up. Let's go back all the way back. We won't start with Jesus. Let's go back and start in the garden. We start in the garden. Adam and Eve sinned, right? And in chapter 3, what did God say he was going to do about sin? Do you remember? You bruised
And a breach you had.
his heel. He's gonna crush the seed of the woman. That's what he's talking about. There is one that's coming. You bruised the heel. He is going to, and the verb means crush. He is going to crush your head, Satan. And from that beginning, there has been the promise that God is going to do something about sin. God is going to provide a remedy for sin. That started in Genesis chapter 3, immediately after Adam and Eve sinned. You've heard Ray use the word proto-evangelium. It's the first reference to the gospel. Proto, the first, and evangelism, the first reference, that's a Latin term meaning the first reference to the gospel in the Word of God. I don't remember if it was Schofield. It may have been somebody previous to him. But there has been talked about this red line that runs from Genesis all the way through Revelation. And it's the red line of redemption. You get over to Genesis chapter 12, and God says to Abraham, I'm gonna take you from where you're going, and I'm gonna send you to a place you don't know about. I'm gonna give you a city whose builder and maker is God, but I'm gonna bless you. I'm gonna make a great nation out of you, and in you what? All the families of the earth shall be blessed. All the nations of the earth shall be blessed. The children of Israel were not chosen God's people like you go choose a nice puppy. God wasn't looking for a puppy or a Rottweiler or a bulldog huh? Or a Podergo. He wasn't. God did not choose Israel to be their pet, to be his pet. They never were chosen to be God's favorite. Their purpose from the very beginning when God called Abraham was to bring through Abraham a redeemer. The promise that he made in Genesis chapter 3 after man fell. Isn't that right? Go, just read the Psalms. You don't have to, just read the book of Psalms, and over and over and over again, he talks about how God is going to make, that the children of Israel are to show others, to make his name great among the nations. Over and over and over again. The purpose of the children of Israel, to make his name great, to make his name great, to make his name great among the people that don't believe. So the children of Israel were not chosen to be God's lapdog. They were chosen to make his name known throughout the entire world. And it's because of that you and I are here tonight. Do we have? Jim's got some Jewish blood, right? Jim's got, what's that? Yeah. But most of us would be Gentiles. And what happened in the New Testament? Jesus came, and Jesus said he came to the house of Israel, but what was given is given to Israel is going to be given to the nations. You know, you had the opportunity, but it's going to be given to the nation. Paul is called the apostle to the Gentiles. Everybody follow me? So is our purpose to glorify God? Yes, it is to glorify God. Your purpose is to glorify God, to make him known to those who don't know him. Your purpose, if that wasn't your purpose, then God would have, and I said this somewhere this week, God should have and would have had one of his angels standing beside you the moment you got saved to whack you with his holy club and kill you and take you to heaven right then, because you would have been no use. That's why we've been left here, to make him known to those who don't know him. And our purpose as a church, whether you're talking about Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, Acts, the Great Commission is consistent all the way through, that we are to take the gospel to those who don't know him, to those who are without Christ. The Great Commission, specifically given to the church, is to reach those for whom Christ died. Ye shall be witnesses unto me in Judea, Samaria, Jerusalem, Judea, Samaria, and uttermost. You're going to be witnesses. You're going to be telling people who Jesus is, right? You with me on that? So if I say to you, what is our purpose? That's the one. Right? Our purpose, your purpose, my purpose, the purpose of our church, to reach those for whom Christ died. I'll make sure I'm doing the right thing here. Okay. So that means this is the mission. We spend a lot of time talking about this. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this right now because we spend a lot of time talking about reaching, teaching, and ministry. This is the how. All right? Notice what it says. Your mission follows the path your organization sets to arrive at its destination. When someone asks you where you're going, they ask you how you're going to get there. Your mission is the how, the path you choose to follow, the decisions you make to get to your destination. Look at this next question there. You ought to underline this in your notes. Will you follow a focused and direct path or one that wanders? A mission-driven path will be direct, and you will be doing what matters. Does that make sense? All right. Now if that's the case, let's. In our journey, this is where we start. This is how we get there. This is the destination. This is what you expect to find when you get there. This is what it looks like when you've reached your destination. Everybody with me on that? So let me ask you, if this is the why, what is the destination? What are you going to find? Say it. Okay, so people have been and are being saved, right? Is that all? Okay. What else are you going to see? Yeah, they're going to be grown, but how? What are you going to see that will tell you that that happens? Okay.
They're making Christ known.
We're going to get there. Hang on a second. Okay, reaching.
We're going to be teaching.
Teaching. All right. Are you just going to be teaching? Are you going to know it because you see somebody teaching? Or are you going to know it because
Living it.
learning, life change is taking place? So people are being taught and learning. And I like what Hannah said, life change. That's the goal of teaching, right? And then, Bill, what did you say? What else are you going to see?
They're making Christ known.
And so they are going to be engaged in the purpose. Okay? Can you see that?
No.
So the vision says what we should see at our destination is people have been saved, have been and are being saved. Okay? People have been and are being saved. People are being taught and learning as evidenced by life change. And then you will see people engaged in the purpose. Straight out of Matthew 28. It's your goal. It's what you expect to find when you arrive at the destination. Listen to this bullet. Read this bullet with me there at the bottom. Some of you trying to get ahead of me. Turn that page back over and read what I'm talking about there. Right here. I want you to read that right there. Okay? Right there. Really? Yeah, read it out loud.
Your mission is your vision in action, connecting your purpose with your impact.
All right. Now, your mission is your vision in action. Your vision in action. You see it? Your vision in action. This is your vision. People have been or are being saved, reaching. People are being taught and learning, life change. That's teaching. People are engaged in the purpose. That's ministering. Do you see it? Does that make sense to you? Are you connecting the dots here? Any questions about this part? Is everybody getting a hold of this? I don't care if you got the notes. I want to know. I want to know if this is connecting in here.
Why, how, and where's the what? The what is the vision.
Thank you. What do you expect to find? Okay? Yep. But that's what it says in the previous bullet point. Thank you for reminding me of that. Now, he says, consider substituting why, how, and what for purpose, mission, and vision. They will help you minimize confusion between the terms. Notice the next bullet point. Purpose guides you. Purpose guides you. That's on the bottom of the front page. Purpose guides you. Your purpose statement articulates why you do what you do, why your class exists, why you serve a higher purpose. All right? Purpose guides you. Mission drives you. Your mission statement is how you accomplish your purpose. Your mission is what drives you every day to fulfill your purpose. It's a direct path between from your purpose to your vision. Look at the last sentence there under mission drives you. Mission is doing what matters and eliminating the distractions. It unlocks the strategy and that delivers results and impact. Mission is doing what matters, eliminating the distractions. Mission unlocks the strategy that delivers results and impact. When I think through the years of how many things that I did, calling it ministry, that had absolutely no bearing on reaching, teaching, or ministering, I'm ashamed. I'm ashamed. I was dumb, and I should have been able to think through this honestly. Last thing, vision is where you aspire to be. Vision is your what. Your vision is what you will achieve in the future, the results you want to reach. Underline this, the measurable impact you want to make. It is not a vision if it's not measurable. It is not a realistic vision if it is not measurable. Okay? I need to lose 50 pounds. Okay? That, my destination, I won't tell you. Okay? 50 pounds less. That's my destination. Okay? Why? Well, I can give you all kinds of reasons of what my purpose is. The health. I'll say my health. That's my purpose. How am I going to do it? Okay? Diet, exercise, eat 3 square meals a day, and avoid whatever. Okay? That's the how. The vision.
50 pounds more.
The vision is not 50 pounds lighter. Vision's health.
But how do you measure it? But 50
You
pounds
measure
a
that.
lot.
That's it. The vision is health. That was the start from the beginning. That's the why. The purpose was not, hey, 50 looks like a good number. No, 50's health. Okay? The vision is health. The impact is measurable. Yep. So, look at what it says. Vision aligns leaders and followers. It's an ongoing process of aligning your mission with your purpose. Vision keeps you on course. Every time you think, I'm going to do this with my class, you ask yourself, how does it fit here? Vision aligns what you do with your purpose. If I do that, am I going to see this? Because this is this in action. Right? So, I know I'm giving you a lot of stuff, but I'm more interested in you thinking it through than I am writing it down, and we're going to do a little exercise here in a second. Impact, read this last phrase here. Impact is what matters. What are the strategic goals that align with your purpose, and what are the measurable results of achieving your vision? Okay? What are the strategic goals that align with your purpose, and what are the measurable results of achieving your vision? Now, here's what I want to do. This is our church. What about your class? How do you make this purpose happen? What do you have to restate in this purpose to define the purpose for your class? There's one word that needs to be redefined, or that needs to be replaced in this for your class. What is that one word? What class do you teach, Casey?
Fifth grade.
Okay? So your purpose is not to teach a good lesson. Your purpose is absolutely not. Should you teach a good lesson? It's part of the mission. That's how you're going to get to realize the vision. You won't get it without reaching, teaching, and ministering. But your purpose is and always will be to reach fifth graders for whom Christ died. What's your class, Jim?
Reach old people for whom Christ died.
It's got to be more narrow than that. What's your age demographic?
50 to 65, I think.
That's the purpose of Jim's class. Okay? Does that fit the purpose of our church?
Yeah.
Does that fulfill what God has called us to do? Is God going to be glorified? Remember what your purpose is? To glorify God and to make Him known. Is God going to be glorified and be made known if we embrace that this is our purpose? Right? Okay? What grade do you teach, Dale?
Second grade.
Second grade. Alright? So Dale A. Lane. Graderies? To reach second graders from whom Christ died. Now, let me ask you then. Let's stay with. Well, in fact, I'm going to do this. That's Dale A. Lane. Okay. If this is our purpose, to reach those for whom Christ died, I teach Derek and I teach a couple of, I teach a class, we used to teach 2 classes, Derek's got the easy part now. All right, so let's take my old men's class. Okay, love those guys. Got a great bunch of guys in my class. We have a great time in our class. You know what our purpose is? To reach men 70 plus for whom Christ died. 65 plus. We gotta get Kenny in there. Yeah. So, but it's to reach our demographic for whom Christ died. Now, then what is my vision? What do I want to see?
We wanna see them doing the same thing.
You gotta be more specific than that. What do I want to see? If my vision, if I'm going to embrace my own vision, look at it right here. Do it in this language. What am I going to see? I'm going to see old men
being saved.
that have been and are being saved. So there's a process. We're not satisfied with those who are here. We want to see. We want what we want to see. If our vision is what it needs to be, if our purpose, if we understand our purpose, then our vision has to be that people have been and are being saved. That people, old men, are being taught and learning, which is a big deal. Let me just tell you, that's a really big deal. And life change is happening. Let me tell you about one of them. Mike Sweat. Emma gave Mike, she chased him down, scared him to death, gave him an invite to church. Okay? He's pushing buggies.
Much more than this.
Huh?
There's much more.
Yes. But Mike Swetnam, this is a guy who does not drive, who rode from Sunset and Campbell, just west of Sunset and Campbell, took a bus 2 hours to get to work every day at Walmart and Bennett, at the Glenstone and Bennett at Walmart. And when the buses are running, he takes the bus to church. Okay? But here's a rascal. He was already saved, but he's jumped in. He loves the Bible, doesn't he, Derek? He loves God's Word. And he is all about learning it. He'll come to class, he'll talk about what we talked about last week. He'll have a question that he's thinking through, and his life is changing. He's got family that he hasn't connected with in a long time. And since he's been in church, God is laid it on his heart to reach out and mend relationships that have been severed for years and years and years. Mike Swetnam not only comes to Sunday school, Mike Swetnam comes on, he's probably here tonight, he has been. He sings in our choir. He makes the effort to sing in our choir. Mike is he's not an impressive guy, but he's one that Christ loves. If you won't talk to Mike 10 or 15 minutes before you realize what the real deal this guy is, and you'll love him, because he's a guy who is waiting for somebody to love him. And he's responded to it, and the Lord is making a difference. The Lord is changing Mike's life. And Mike is already serving in one area, and he asked me a few weeks ago, Pastor, is there anything else I can do? Okay? People are being saved, people are being taught and learning, there's life change taking place, and they're engaged in the purpose. Okay? So what do we want to see? We want, and I have that story, you've got your stories from your class. You know why? You know why it's important for us to tell those stories? Is because that's measurable impact. It's not impact if it's not measurable. Do you know how many people are off doing their own thing? Even in our church. There are silos. There are people who have determined that they have this is my ministry, and I'm going to do my ministry my way, and I'm going to get the results that I want because I know better, and it's I, and they're not a part of this, and they're trying to do this in some way or the other, but they've lost this vision. And this, my dear friends, is a measurable impact. When we see this, when we personalize this, this becomes measurable. Right? Does everybody? I'm not hammering anybody. I don't think we never get here. What happens is we get in Florence Chadwick's fog. We're swimming for all we're worth. We got the other boats around us, and they're saying, go, 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 go. We recognize, oh my goodness, there are sharks in the water. And I'm cold and wet and tired. And I can't see the destination. And so some don't stop swimming, they just turn and swim for the boat. They've lost sight of the destination. Here's what I want you to do. 3 questions right here. I want you to answer these questions using this. By the way, one more thing. We went over this just a little bit. Am I going to reach a 2nd grader the same way I'm going to reach Mike Sweat? Not going to happen. Am I going to teach? You know what I'm doing Friday? Friday morning, I'm teaching the kids who are coming to one of Emma's brainy, crazy, zany kids things on Friday morning. This week is about, what is it, Candy? Yeah. And guess how I got to shift gears? Senior men last Sunday, you people that scare me here on Wednesday night, and then Friday morning, little kids, and then come Sunday, I got to go figure out how to reconnect with people that are less than half my age. And I'm telling you that I don't teach any of those. I can't teach any of those people the same way. Okay? So it's going to look different. Ministering to them is going to look different, right? We can have a, what'd you call last week? Fluffy Fun Friday. Okay? I can advertise that with my senior men. Ain't gonna happen. They won't show up. But if I tell them we're gonna eat eggs and sausage at my house on a Saturday morning, I'm telling you they will show up and bring somebody with them. When we go to McDonald's once every other week, whenever they're going out, they show up and they bring somebody with them and they tell others about it. But you tell them we're gonna have Sticky Fun Friday. They're not interested in Sticky Fun. The closest one to being interested in Sticky is Ken Conway. And that's the stuff that falls off his coffee cup. That's the spot over there right underneath Jim somewhere. All right? Reaching, teaching, and ministering. Is the purpose the same?
Yes.
But I have to take a different route to get to the same destination. This part is the how. The how might look a little bit different, but it's still going to be in the context of reaching, teaching, and ministry, because that's what the vision is. We all good with that? All right, so here's what I want you to do. I'm going to give you 2 minutes, and then we're going to watch David Francis. I want you to take this format, and I want you to write it out similar. We've already done a couple of them. Purpose to reach 2nd graders for whom Christ died. So I want you to put that in your vernacular, for your class. Okay? Then the how, reaching, teaching, ministering, I want you to make that personal with your class. And then I want you to take the vision and make the vision personal for your class. I'm going to give you 3 minutes to do it. All right, let me ask you a question. Why is it important? Why not just have you do this exercise of aligning this across all classes? Why is it important? You understand? They put second grade, they put first grade, Derek puts young adults, but Burnett puts auditorium group, these guys are fourth grade, these guys, I mean, why do we have to align this all across all classes, all departments? Why?
All of those different age groups make up everybody, and they make up the church.
That's true.
To be on the same page.
It's unity to be on the same page.
Doesn't reach everybody differently. Teachers and professors may not reach some individuals.
Okay,
That we all take it personally
okay,
and get it out to our families to be part of it.
okay. I'm looking for one more, even greater, more overarching truth.
Glorify God.
No.
And make him right, and make
That
him
was,
No, here it is. Because reaching, teaching, and ministry, because reaching those for whom Christ died does not happen in the bubble of the 1 year they might be in your class. And if your purpose for them is different than your purpose when you get them to college, and your purpose when you get them in young adult, and your purpose when you get them in the old people's class, if what they're doing in the preschool is different than what they're doing in the second grade and the fifth grade, and everybody's got a different purpose,
Church is not going in the
it's
Same
not
direction.
a unity, it's not a unified, we are not fulfilling the Great Commission. We have to, that's why when we looked at last week at the Teachers and Workers Covenant, it said we agree and will work in unity together. We're going to follow leadership. This is the direction we're going. That's the why that's so important. Okay? That's just one thing I wanted to clear up. What do you see? When you walk into your class, when you stand at the door, what do you see? When you look in the class and look at the door, what do you see? Let me ask you this. Is this important? Which one of these is more important?
What is actually happening?
That's it.
Because without vision.
We can know this, we can quote this, we can talk about this, but if we don't see this, there is nothing happening. There's no impact. So, if that is true, let me ask you this about your vision. What is one thing, just one, what is one thing that you can change? Let me say it differently. What is one thing in your class that needs to change because of what you've seen here or heard here? What is one thing in your class that needs to change this Sunday that you can change? What is one thing? Somebody, I'm just throwing it out there. This is not confessions of this is just, there are things that we learn. Somebody tell me something. What's one thing that needs to change in your class that can change based on what you've learned here or heard here tonight? What is one thing? Anybody willing to take a shot? Not a sign of weakness, it's a sign of growth when we see it and acknowledge it.
I would say to share your vision with your class. Does your class know what your vision is?
Okay?
Reaching people?
Tell me very specifically. I'm looking at something very, very, very specific. Derek last week, Derek and I had a conversation about taking the but they had way too many chairs out. Okay, it changes, having too many chairs changes the mindset of the class. Always try to have about 4 chairs less than what you expect to have, because taking chairs out subconsciously says better than 2 people, 3 empty chairs, 2 people, 3 empty chairs, 1 person on this row, no people on this row, 3 people over here. I've got rows for 20, but my average is 9. Doesn't make sense, right? So Derek made 1 change last week. It changed the atmosphere of that classroom. When I walked in, I didn't teach the class, but I walked into the class, and the fellowship that was happening in that class last Sunday morning, when I walked in, the conversation involved everybody. It wasn't 2 people here, 3 people here, 3 people there. That class was interacting together on that Sunday because he made 1 change that he could make. And he made that change. All right, let me ask you one other question. One more question, we're done.
You didn't tell us what change you made.
What's that?
You didn't tell us what
Took
change
away
you
chairs.
made.
He put chairs away. Put chairs away.
I put deodorant on.
Praise the Lord.
Here's my last question, not for an answer, but for a takeaway, and you're dismissed. What one thing could happen in your class if you really got a hold of this and really got a hold of God, and together you and the Lord made a difference? What one thing could you do? Lord, thank you for this group. Thank you for the time we've had together tonight. Help us as we think through and apply and learn. Help us to know the vision. Help us to understand our purpose and our mission.